the only player that's been, I think, positive on both maps for Falcons, and he's been really strong. One of the top fraggers for the team, and that form that we mentioned that he was sort of finding since joining Falcons is still on display coming into this year. So really good to see from kennyS. We'll see how that translates to Overpass. We are going to be jumping into it. Falcons, looks like they are starting on that CT side.
Yeah, Dual Beretta's instantly purchased. Probably to replicate Manx's successes with them, right? I mean, that was unbelievable. This is it then. ECSTATIC start to make their move out towards B. Line up for a Heaven Smoke, about to be deployed by Manxz.
Yeah, a big hit here is a good choice because there are 3 CTs not really close by, although Body can come through. And Kragan deletes misutaaa, removed out of short. Body can't make his way either because Manxz is holding him in. MBK the only one on site under a huge amount of pressure, and he is pushed back into the BD and into his grave. A couple of kills do come through for Body and Python, so there is now a pathway through for them. But Cabby, off the back of this, is taking the bomb up towards A, and it is the perfect read. Salazar even taking down kennyS. For Python, this becomes impossible to win.
Yeah, wrong bomb site, wrong idea. Really nice recognition from ECSTATIC. As soon as they spot the players out, they immediately reroute. Salazar does incredible work towards the pillar. It looked like with the first kill, he wasn't even looking at Monster, and he just flicks onto him. Really nice work. And ECSTATIC, we're talking about how the T sides might be a premium luxury here on Overpass, and immediately come out the gate, ECSTATIC is swinging.
Falcons fall straight back into it. There could be a little bit of extra cash here, actually. So do want to have something a bit later on. And ECSTATIC looking like they want to put the pressure on to B once again. There's 4 players from the CTs here, and Body isn't that far off either. So Falcons have a good read on this. They're taking their time at the moment, trying to overstep it. misutaaa swings on through for one after Manxz drops MBK. Now Salazar trying to get one back. He is taking a bit of damage for his troubles, but doing some of his own. Queenix finds one as well, and Cabby catches the rotator, and a nice sharp kill from Kragan to finish it off.
Yeah, another good round from ECSTATIC. It's simple. It's always the outcome you kind of expect on a round like this, but they could really kind of trip over, especially with 4 players in towards B. You've got at least Cabby holding that connector swing, so short doesn't become compromised and pinched upon. ECSTATIC dotting their T's, crossing their I's. And as a reward, Falcons are reduced to USPs in a single P250. And much like as it has been throughout the entire series, ECSTATIC win the pistol, and then they win the following 2 rounds.
Yeah, strong start on the T side. Kragan finds B empty. So this run you can pretty much write off immediately. Perfect recipe to the T side. You mentioned earlier how this map has been heavily favoring CTs, at least towards the tail end of 2022. Potentially a shift in the meta with the change to the rifles, I think in particular, have sort of made that CT sidedness of a lot of maps start to diminish, but it definitely still feels like it does favor that side.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see how Falcons set up here on a gun round, because ECSTATIC have been prioritizing B. So it's just this early conditioning. Like, is kennyS going to send the AWP down there for a monster peak? Is he going to go in towards connector to try and fight for that space? You're seeing a lot of CT-sided teams as well maybe neglect presence in connector, at least in towards the mid-round, because you've got the option to blow off the door, which is almost a given in any Overpass game you'll watch. The amount of pressure you can apply through the spams and the jump spot in provides just another string to the bow. Kenny immediately buying that AWP. His spawn isn't the best, but he is looking down towards B.
A lot of players looking towards B. There they go, running 4 going down here early on. kennyS likely to be playing the rotator, maybe going for the peek here, and then wants to rotate off. That's why the rest of his teammates are still coming through here. Maybe it's just because of that presence that ECSTATIC have put here in the first 3 rounds. Wants to be on hand to counter any early speed. Looking like we're going to see a nade stack come through, and this is going to absolutely do the damage. MBK luckily dismounted from that boost at the perfect time, but still a fair chunk to both him and misutaaa.
That's really interesting because that nade stack's a little bit deeper. That's to catch players not jump spotting, but being a little bit further maybe for this spam here. Or maybe just catching out players in transition over towards water. I haven't seen that before. That's really interesting. Salazar going for a boost. misutaaa gets caught off guard, and unfortunately for Salazar, that's not the kill.
Re-smoke in towards Monster. Goes very deep. Looks like T is considering disrespecting this. A player rotates back over towards A as well. The CT is not getting any contact outside of these nades, and a bit of the spam has kept them guessing, but kennyS does make his way back on over. Kraken wins out the duel onto Python. misutaaa is very low and still manages to recover from the flash to get one. kennyS now 2 fast kills in response, keeping the bomb site in their hands, but cannot adjust on to Salazar. Body is here though. Now Cabby has to pull off the 1v2, punching in the digits, getting that bomb down, but flames land at his back, and he swings on through into Body's crosshair.
Again, it's that dastardly duo, right? kennyS and Bodyy. 4 kills on the bomb site. Kenny sets it up and Bodyy just gets it done. I really like the utility as well. The fact that it has to push ECSTATIC into a position where they just straight into the crosshair. misutaaa's advanced positioning at the timing of the Falcons flashbang, just as ECSTATIC work through Monster, means they can capitalize on the low HP. And misutaaa's actually saved for tucking in and rewarded for not dying on the boost. That one comes back to bite Salazar and ECSTATIC.
It had felt like ECSTATIC had done so much work early in that round, just repositioning players, doing a lot of damage early on as well. misutaaa did get away, but was so low and still managed to recover for a kill after that flashbang. That was very impressive. kennyS looking sharp as well. We talked about the AWP head-to-head. Salazar's currently sitting 4 kills. And again, it's Old Faithful. B bomb site. Looking like they're going to be hitting it once more.
Yeah, ready? Here come the flashbangs. Up and over. Cabby, entry pathing, gets rid of Python, and now tries to step in towards this smoke, but misutaaa on the swivel finds 3. Astronomical damage. ECSTATIC held at bay.
Unbelievable from misutaaa. 3 crisp kills. Feels like he's going to be under so much pressure there, but he's able to adjust and find all 3. Kraken now does get one back, but he is being pounded. misutaaa, oh, actually damage being done here, but Kraken brought down on low. HE dribbled on through, and somehow Kraken has managed to stay alive and find another kill. The thing is, he has been brought very low, and that bomb has still not been recovered. kennyS groups up with misutaaa. Kraken, well, you might make your way over towards Monster, but they're going to be ready for you.
It's got the potential to get a little bit weird. Because Kraken is starting to work down the left-hand side. misutaaa's not looking. misutaaa's not checking. That's opportunity. Kenny does hit the shot, thankfully for the Falcons, but that was nearly sent into a tailspin.
Yeah, was that a 1-on-4? That was almost pulled off there by Kraken. He found that first one lurking out through connector, the second one with misutaaa pushing, and then finding misutaaa at the tail end as well. Thankfully, kennyS, fast as you'd expect, able to deny any further. Falcons, that one gets a little bit closer than it had any right to be, and it keeps them very honest. And, well, guess what ECSTATIC are doing? They're going back towards B, this time with a bit of pace to it. Max hands at the front. misutaaa, he's caught off guard this time. No triple kill for the king of B. MBK coming on through with the MP9. Flames push him back as well. That bomb can now make its way through.
I mean, this one's just added with a lot more pace because of the SMGs, and as a result, Falcons, they think, surely not again. This is now 6 rounds in a row. ECSTATIC have headed towards the B bomb site. 6 rounds in a row. They've been able to compromise it. And it's going to be a 4th round locked in off the back of a very weakened buy. Falcons thought they'd done the heavy lifting, bringing the game to within 1, but immediately there's a response, and now they're going to be conditioned. They're going to have to start at least 3 here every single time.
MankZ's really get it done there. misutaaa, after all that brilliance the first round, the fact he's playing in towards short there, he doesn't have that cover of the pillar to play around. I mean, that was the leverage he used in the prior round because you can just isolate these fights. But when the MankZ's just swing around wood like that, I mean, what can you even do? If you don't get that kill instantly, it's all over. With at least 3 rifles saved over, they can buy into this. And in fact, they actually managed to make it pretty reasonable. MBK with the MP9, but everyone else is doing okay. Yeah, you best believe there are 3 players over here. 4, in fact. But hey, how about a 7th time going towards the B-bomb site?
I haven't seen anything like it, but it could work. This flashbang, especially kennyS, up close, but it's Python's take the contact. But immediately, the trades are here. misutaaa is waiting for MBK to fall, and they're trying not to check him, but Salazar hits the shot. I cannot fathom the fact that ECSTATIC are doing this, but hey, it's working.
If it ain't broke, do not fix it. Body, he's trying to fix this gap, trying to get around back, creeping on forward. A 2nd kill presents, and a 3rd as well. Body, that is unbelievable. 1 versus 3, steals the round away.
Guess it is broke. And now ECSTATIC might need to fix it, because Body has just taken those fights in isolation. Really well worked by him, and you do not want to give Falcons any room to maneuver, because they will punish. Really incredible stuff from Body, really proving his worth in gold.
But did it ever need to get to that point? Heroics aside, 7 rounds in a row they've hit that B bomb site and found success. Body the only saving grace. It is good to see him fired up early. Noted his absence on Nuke after a dominant Mirage. It was the last piece added to this puzzle, and definitely a necessary one.
Cracker's having a brilliant game as well. Already gone over 10 kills for ECSTATIC. And after this pause, they thought to themselves, well, there actually is another bomb site on Overpass. We're going to relax into more of a default. Kenny going for the initial aggression. Nose flash being lined up. Potentially could be the end of misutaaa. Needs to really be careful here, as short control is also established by ECSTATIC.
Well, they hinted at a potential presence over towards A, but in fact, it's Old Faithful. We're back to B. Python, misutaaa playing anti-flash. This is a good setup to handle this. They need these rotations to come on through, though. Body has a very deep position in towards playground, so he knows that this side of the map is not being pushed at the moment. Molotov over the top. Mankz going to get boosted up for a bit of a peek in. MBK has been checking this periodically. But a player spotted surely. Mankz not able to recover. 2 players presented and neither falls.
Oh, Python fluffs his lines though. Through the smoke, Queenix will actually get a kill, but it's misutaaa at close range, and the flashbang's perfect from MBK. A double up. And now suddenly everything is collapsing for ECSTATIC. It's Cabby left alone. But again, in a series full of clutches, you never want to rule him out. 30 seconds. So he's got a chance, and Kenny with a misflick.
Almost cost him his life, but keep an eye on Body in the back lines. He's making his way through. Cabby, he knows that time is limited. 15 seconds. Yeah, he's not even going to be giving this one a go. Just wants to hold on to the AK, but that's not going to happen. Body is here, drops him, and evens up the scoreline.
And it's actually that advanced positioning from Falcons, from Body, that enables that rotation to come in the first place. Another critical kill taking place towards short. This boost is just not finding the success it really should be. MBK winning out that fight is a critical error, because ECSTATIC deployed a Molotov specifically to flush a player out from the pillar into the open to get that headshot from elevation, but it just does not work. Another pause in the proceedings. Team Falcons level out this playing field, and the economy is running very thin on the side of ECSTATIC.
Yeah, it's hard to think maybe Falcons have worked out this old Go B strat book. Maybe we need to flip to a new page. Those ones are all glued together. Full spy through. What will it do? Falcons, they take this one, will be in a good position to start to create that distance between the two teams. This time the bomb doesn't make its way over towards B. 3 players out here. They smoke off the molly and they take ground out towards playground. A small change up, at least showing some presence over towards A. But misutaaa does not want to rest on his laurels in B. He is pushed in towards short. Has to be ready if, I think that's Mankz, does decide to push out. Kragan, 6 and 9, very similar numbers. It is indeed Kragan. Bit of a stalemate in short.
Cabby taking space out towards long, but the pressure's invited by this setup. kennyS, it's his responsibility to look over at Divider, and Body was supposed to be holding down long, but that is a free haircut for the new transfer. misutaaa at least steps in, holds down the line at short, and whilst it looks like the action is unfolding over at A, guess what? It's not. Down the connector. Initially, ECSTATIC ran, but Salazar does find out MBK.
This is getting so weird. Python's rotated off, so Cabby is walking into B and finding it at the moment. No one here. And in fact, catching Python as he rotates back over. The timing eluding Falcons. kennyS now desperately makes his way here. The bomb has to still get onto the site. And he's actually thinking it's being planted. Fires off a shot, but now the smoke glooms in his face. Between him and misutaaa. Oh, the nade comes over the top. Puts it back now into the 2v2 and a chance for the Falcons.
Got to deal with this close position under the heavens. Cabby can hear all of this, and it just can be Salazar to bait with the deagle. Kenny primed on the position, but Cabby is just inviting them in, and they combine. ECSTATIC win another round, and to be fair to them, this is their 9th map of Counter-Strike today, so maybe we're going to see 15 rounds where ECSTATIC end on the B bomb site.
I actually think it's a 10th map of Counter-Strike today, which is an absurd amount of Counter-Strike to be playing. Cabby, again, a huge impact round. We've seen it a lot on Mirage as well, just the amount of impact he has on these T-sides, and he has the rifle, right? So you want to be sending him on these scouting missions like they did then, out towards long, where he can take these long-range engagements and maybe find that opening, which is exactly what he does. And then he does the same thing over towards B. Finds that gap while the rest of the team is putting pressure towards Divider. So great stuff from Cabby. 2 kills into this round. He's going to give up that AK. Gets a bunch of info on these pushing pistols, so the team can go safely to B.
Safely to B. Again.
Yeah, the one time
brilliant.
we planted on A was when they went through B into CTJ.
Yes,
They've
yeah.
never entered it traditionally.
That's so funny. I forgot that even happened.
Yeah, that was the closest we got to tasting the A site.
It just goes to highlight the strength of the B executes and maybe the weakness in the defense for the Falcons, though, because this is now the 6th round that ECSTATIC have won. by going B. They've always had a very high success rate at just completely compromising the bomb site. Utility normally blinds up a few of these players. What's interesting as well is as we enter the dying embers of this first half, is how are Falcons going to respond? Because they have pushed Fountain a little bit aggressively, trying to go for this flank. Maybe a push through Monster would be a good idea, because there's a lot of opportunity in which ECSTATIC are just kind of waiting around, trying to figure out when's the best time to throw their utility to push on through.
Oh, 3 players over towards, no, 2 in connector, never mind. kennyS peeks on through, flashed off the angle, forced back. Another nade stack comes through, MK brought down to half, but misutaaa wants to take it into his own hands, and it's Python behind him that does it all. 2 drop, 1 in fact through the other. Falcons taking the initiative towards B, rewards them success.
There we go. It's almost like I spoke it into existence. Really well worked by the CT side, and now Cabby. There was an opportunity to maybe accelerate a little bit up towards Divider, but I think kennyS has just spotted him on the jump peak.
He absolutely has. And this whole time you got bodyy also out towards long bathrooms, who can come through this flank at any point. Salazar charging on through, not being quiet about it, AWP in hand. What time does bodyy activate here? Because at the moment, kennyS is standing on top of Divider, top of Dice, I think. Fires off 1 shot, flashes over the top, needs bodyy to support him because he's about to get overwhelmed. Cabby's just able to walk onto the site and take him down. Now that bomb can come through, but bodyy, the flag, finally arrives, and it's good for at least 1.
And it's good that Salazar plants a truck, because it means he can go down without too much contention. MBK from Bank through the smoke will be traded, but that leaves Cabby in a 1 versus 2, and bodyy is disciplined and keeps rotating all the way around. Falcons, they will get a 5th.
Yeah, it felt like bodyy kind of left kennyS out on an island there. But I think there's also like a lack of information there. You do have to note in that they didn't know that there was 3 players that close by. So kennyS gets a little bit caught off. He fires off 1 shot towards Divider. I don't think he actually spotted anyone when he was standing on top of Dice, but he falls back then, holding that passive line on the right-hand side, which is a little bit of a gamble, but it is where you expect players to initially path to, towards like the flower corner there. And so, yeah, it's unfortunately overwhelmed, but bodyy does come through and redeem himself in the end.
Yeah, it's almost like kennyS is left for the greater good of the team. But it is a little bit unfortunate. Looks like we've got a little bit of a tech pause here. So I think we're gonna jump back onto us just for a second, and we can kind of reevaluate what's going on here, because it's a very interesting game of Overpass. It's something I've never quite really seen before, because it is just constant barrages onto the B bomb site, and the one round that ECSTATIC clearly go for an A play, it just gets shut down, which means, in my opinion, it would not surprise me if they just go back towards B.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, that round there was also a difficult one for them because of all that aggression that Falcons had taken, right? They took the initiative, they pushed out outside of Monster, forcing the issue and taking down both those players there. They put a deep smoke towards the stairs as well. So, I mean, if you want to go to B, it's so difficult to retake all of that ground, or you have to go through short, and then Monster is a big question mark. So they kind of funneled into that position, and a small gap in the vision allows them to at least get on the side and get the bomb planted. But yeah, that's all they're able to obtain. So yeah, I wonder if we'll see any more A players, because they haven't had a lot of success there.
I think 6 rounds is a very decent haul to be bringing forward onto your defense, to be honest. So the fact they've already established that and they can look to build more is very encouraging for the ECSTATIC side. And considering that they've probably been playing since they woke up, the fact that they are still providing such a challenge for the Falcons, they're battling, they're fighting for the upper bracket run here at Challenger League, because as we kind of mentioned yesterday, and as we talked about, since the format changed in the last season, it is a long way back in that lower bracket. There are a ton of games, and when you're a team like ECSTATIC, you're already playing a really packed schedule because you want to get as many officials as you can under your belt. you definitely want to do it the easier way rather than that deep lower bracket run with a ton of difficult opponents.
Yeah, ECSTATIC's first game today was literally 12 hours ago on the dot. It's
Yeah.
9 a.m. WoW time this morning. So yeah, they've been certainly on the grind. And I think one thing to note, I mean, you said 6 rounds feels like a good amount to take to defense. I think it's worth highlighting once again just how strong both these teams' T
Yep.
sides have been. That's really been the story. It was even the story on Nuke, even though Falcons weren't quite able to bring it back the same way that ECSTATIC did on Mirage. But even still, it feels like the CT sides for both these teams have been a little bit weaker, which makes it a little bit worrying if Falcons aren't quite able to get, I think, at least 8-9 rounds here on the defense.
Yeah, it's interesting to look at the high performers as well for both of these teams. You've got Body again stepping up, rising to this occasion, playing exceptional. Cabby is now continuing his form. He's actually stepped up and is level on kills with Kragan. And so you got that little rifle head to head between, I'd argue, Cabby and Body. And then you look at the AWPers and you say, okay, well, to be honest, Salazar hasn't had an AWP much because they've been prioritizing hitting these B bomb site executes. And as a result, they are isolating kennyS completely out of the equation, right? Because he's got the AWP, he either starts connector or he starts towards Fountain. And if he does end up towards B, he's almost in a proactive position by the pillar, but he can just get completely isolated with the utility.
Yeah, he's been having a bit of a rough time. We saw one time he was playing up close, trying to take the variance. He was sitting in front of the monster pipe, got completely flashed by the nose flash. Even when he goes in towards Fountain, there's no contact there, right? So the only time that he kind of had the fair fight, so to speak, was the round that we saw where he got blindsided as they walked onto the side on dice. So he's having a bit of a rough one, but still plenty of time to warm up as we get back into it. Sorry about the delay, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting into the 12th round of play now.
Economy is starting to take a hit on this T side, though, despite all of the bomb plants, despite the successes over towards B, because look, got a quad boost. Oh no, Salazar missed it. That could have been a really nice way to get yourself back on track, get a nice entry kill.
And it's Body taking the entry out towards Fountain, drops one. Cabby removed, that's a big kill to find. Nice little nade, does a bit of damage onto Salazar. MBK boosted over, looking for Queenix, but doesn't spot him out. And this is great. Falcons taking the initiative not only just towards Fountains, but also in towards Short. They are really starting to take space and not allow ECSTATIC to get comfortable, because that was the downfall of them in those first 5-6 rounds of play.
Yeah, and then by forcing them away from familiarity, actually pushes them also into kennyS. As he repositions, but look at this space that's being taken. Again, there's this pocket of space left open in defense. Mankz is going to get kennyS for free, surely, yeah. And he can just completely play with him. Play with his food, the spray. Oh, it's messy, but he does secure it. Here comes MisutaA, but Queenix is holding. That is audacious. How on earth does he adjust?
Body has been sitting out long this whole time and doesn't even get a chance to do anything. Neither does Python. Walk straight into Queenix. MBK, what can he do? Slinks away, unhappy about the outcome. kennyS. They have to work out what's going on over towards A, because that's the second time we've seen these passive setups from Body where it's left this huge gap. And I don't know whether the issue there was not having connector presence, for example, in Python at the right time, or whether it was just gambling out towards long and just hoping that that's where the play was going. But that's the second time we've seen him just get completely caught off guard.
Yeah, it feels like a little bit of miscommunication with Falcons taking the short space. You expect MisutaA to then transition into attempting to take connector or maybe fighting for it, but where Falcons haven't actually had initial pressure in connector from the offset, that makes it very difficult and like a very tall ask for MisutaA to then just immediately go and clear out unknown territory. So I feel like there's a little bit of maybe communication issues awry, and well, there isn't any for ECSTATIC. They know exactly where they're going to go. And here we go again.
The old classic, back into it. Queenix leading the charge. Everyone falls.
Wow.
Kill for 3 players. In fact, everyone gets a kill. A lovely little team ace for ECSTATIC as they make that B hit look easy.
as they have so often on this T side so far. I think the count is now, I think 2 times, maybe 3 times they've not gone B. But there's no money for the Falcons either, so surely this is going to be 9. Unless the USPs do significant damage. But hey, guess what? Joke's on Falcons. ECSTATIC start out by A.
Oh. That wasn't hitting the mark. That nade could have been hefty, actually, if it had gone through, because there's so many players there. But oh well. Things that could have been a flash out being set up. Oh no, it's a HE, Kenny. So they're setting up for if the walk comes through, the HE comes over, the USPs can start to cause chaos, but obviously we know that's not going to take place. Kraken's the only one over here. The rest of the team is taking that ground. But I feel like both these teams have been doing well in terms of not walking into stacks when they're against the Ecos. They've been doing really well in clearing space and making sure that they don't accidentally walk into 5 players.
Yep. Typical. Classic case of conditioning as well by ECSTATIC. Really good call to slow down. Try and take space at range. And now you have a really good understanding of where the Falcons could potentially be. Kraken holding. Joined in tandem by Queenix, who's just a little bit further back. Giving up 1 AK here isn't disastrous, but ideally, Kraken should be trying to collect all of these. There goes that HE, but slightly overwhelmed. 1 AK. Can Salazar save the orb? Surely he can, especially with Queenix here as well.
Nice and easy. Just losing 1. They'll be happy with that. 9 rounds on the T side. Looking good for ECSTATIC. Falcons get 1 more opportunity on the defense. kennyS gets the AWP out, but no armor behind it. Utility is lacking. Feels desperate here for them. And a 6 feels absolutely necessary.
There it is. Salazar lands on the head this time. And Python is dismissed from round number 15.
Now they just have so much time to work with, so much space they can exploit. You can see how worried Falcons are still about B just because of that conditioning of those 12 rounds that they went there. And technically 13. kennyS, the only one here. Naked as the days came, except AWP in hand, strikes onto Cabby. Even managing the reposition, but Manx is close by. Doesn't matter, the no-scope. Bomb dropped. kennyS holding on. MBK comes on through. Queenix able to recover with 1. And there's Kraken as well. Puts it now back into the 2v2, but misutaaa, he's crept on through and drops another. Falcons get their 6th.
Similar situation to what we saw on Nuke. ECSTATIC put up 9 rounds on the T side. Falcons couldn't overcome that hurdle this time. Will it be a different story?
Let's find out. No one towards B. This is a crazy setup. CTs though, well, it's working out. They are dropping everybody. misutaaa gets one back, but that is it. It is a brawl out towards Fountain, and it's only the tiers of Falcons that are running.
Incredible. I mean, that could be an element of ECSTATIC doing their homework, or it could just be a complete curveball. Either way, it's exceptional stuff. Falcons, that is the last thing they expect. They walk straight into the guillotine head first. And they're not even going to invest. They're going to allow ECSTATIC to take round number 11 for themselves. And a bomb plant, that would be fantastic. However, I strongly doubt that that's going to be achieved, especially with that grenade as well. Everyone is just taking chunks out of the Falcons' HP bars.
The audacity to run your T side where 85, 90% of the time you go B, you send 5 players on the pistol round A. That is bold, and I love it. I'm here for it.
7D chess.
Yeah. There's so many dimensions here. The Falcons do not know which world they're living in. So, Body, one nice little kill. And a second nice little kill. So, actually a good chunk of damage done. Don't know if, yeah, they can't upgrade the SMG. So, well, they don't get the bomb plant, but they do take down 2.
Quite an alarming thing that we've seen so far is that Falcons aren't really putting up the same firepower as they did in Mirage, especially, and Nuke. If you add MBK-kennyS and Python's kills, they equate to bodies. So you really need to start some of these players stepping up, really. You need to see it, because otherwise ECSTATIC are well and truly going to run away with this game. And again, look at this proactive push. 3 out towards A. This time, Bodyy does get the better of Salazar. Cabby is caught in no man's land, and Kraken, as the third entity, chiming in with Mankz, who's been connected this entire time, throws it again into another advantage.
Somehow misutaaa able to find that one back. Mankz lurking around, low HP, but could catch them off guard. They might not be ready for another player to be here. That bomb has to be recovered, and you can see how careful they are being. Mankz just lurking around. Queenix has not budged from the B bomb site. But really, Mankz ends it all. 2 clean headshots. Doesn't even take a second to hesitate.
It's just proactiveness. That is the staple of this ECSTATIC CT side. And it is really catching Falcons unawares. where there's one, there's two, and, well, in this scenario, where there's two, there's four. Immediate repositioning, and what a play just to completely go around the world for Manx. And then he makes sure he's precise with his aim. It's surgical in nature, and it allows ECSTATIC to double the scoreline of Falcons.
Tech-9 armor. Looking to test Salazar. He does miss that opening shot, and even the second, but gets plenty more opportunities. That one eventually connects, and he's got Kraken out towards long, and look at the rotations. Everybody has rotated towards the A-bomb site, and they are causing chaos. Kraken swinging out and doing damage. 2 kills go his way, and well, this is the issue with rotating everybody. If MBK decides to go towards B, he is going to find it empty. However, the worst you've given up here is the bomb plant. A 2v5 here with Tech-9s against what ECSTATIC have is impossible.
Or is it? As kennyS creeps on round, Queenix surely dead. Oh, and so too is 2 of the other players. MBK been tossed an opportunity in the 1 versus 2, close under heaven, deals with Salazar, but not quite Kraken. Falcons, my goodness me, but it's still not enough.
Tell you what, I had my hat out, I was ready to eat it. kennyS, what a triple kill. He was quiet on the CT side, but tell you what, he was screaming at him that round. The Tech-9 up close and personal, getting it done. Just couldn't quite be closed out in that final 1v1. Maybe ECSTATIC, maybe sweating a little after that.
I am.
You can just see the outlines of 4 CTs about to walk around that corner. kennyS clicks out 3.
Oh, it's such a shame they didn't get that. But Body wants to make sure they at least try and secure 1 round on this T side. Early pressure, and he is holding for a long peek. Oh, Salazar, how does that not connect? He just moves as he takes the shot. But now Falcons reset. Want to give ECSTATIC a taste of their own medicine, perhaps. Here comes the utility. Flashbang forward. Queenix under pressure.
Yeah, flashbang over the top. He's just tucking in, trying to stay alive for rotations to come through, and he can't do that. Python removes him. Though they have a player close in short. The rest are too far away. This one should be locked in for Falcons. Misutaaa gets tagged on down, but Salazar, he doesn't want to overstep the mark. Wants to hold on to the AWP into the next. Body's even having a little bit of a look. See if anyone's coming from behind, but I don't think they'll be going and doing any hunting here with the HP they have. They just want to hold on to this and be happy they've kept this one clean.
Yeah, extremely. Cabby not willing to risk an exit. I mean, what a round from the Falcons. That's just Body again being proactive, taking the initiative, finding the opener. And from there, Falcons have a clear game plan. They get ahead of the utility ECSTATIC have put down over towards Monster. Probably not ready for the volume of players bursting out of the pipe. And it's taken a while, but this T side has finally posted one on the board.
Are we going to see another one of these T-side resurgences? Can they repeat the trick? Falcons definitely have their own strap lock here. Going towards A. None of this B every round play. Salazar using those flames, able to get that kill and a second as well. The flashbang is fantastic to set him up for that. Python found one in the meantime, but he was brought down low from it. And they still haven't budged Salazar out of here. 19 for 8 in his element on Overpass.
They've really come alive in this series in general. Super impressed. New guard versus old, and kennyS can only spectate as the rest of the Falcons congregate over towards Monster Manx. Oh, nearly gets caught off guard, and he will. misutaaa will deliver. Cabby now tries to step in, standing on the corpse of Manx, but Misutaaa with another killing blow. But here comes Salazar in from short. Bomb planted, denied.
He's doing it all here for them. Misutaaa has to do the same. 2 kills to his name and 2 more to find. Bomb in his grasp, but a big question mark around where the second player is. Planning out on default. Salazar just walking through with the AWP, spots him, quick to connect. 4 in the round and a 14th on the board.
I mean, what more can you say? Salazar holding the angle on towards Party, then gets flashback through, and then his decision making to utilize the space that he has in connector already, clear that one out, and then be on the fast flank to even deny the bomb plant. What an exceptional round from the youngster.
Double the scoreline now. ECSTATIC can feel the taste of it. Victory and bedtime. Python flashed on through. Does get control towards short, but Salazar is here and he is on a tear. Hitting every shot at the moment. Opens up another round.
Reboosting. Using the flash, CSGO doesn't hang around for too long. Doesn't want to get punished. Or throw away this man advantage. kennyS creeping. Trying to find opportunity out towards long. As to his body. Kragan. Oh, he's hit a little bit of a timing, but doesn't quite connect the shots. Will announce his presence and just back on up.
Space taken. 3 players over here on the T side towards A, but just as many on the CT side defending. They're wanting to take a bit more control back. Run boost through to check if anyone's holding close. kennyS going to find it empty. Misutaaa, he's about to find himself in trouble. Unless he can wide swing onto Salazar here, but no, Salazar, as mentioned, not missing a single thing. MBK wants to try his fight at it, and he is going to take down Cabby. But Salazar is here, a headshot with the AWP. Body comes onto the site, but he's now got 5 HP. 3 players to find as he punches in the digits. Oh!
Oh, okay. CSGO dispatched. Body even taking the space, but Manx is holding for it. It's a good effort. But it's ECSTATIC actually getting themselves on towards series point, and they have got a number of rounds to play with. 8, in fact. And it would need to be 0 mistakes from the Falcons, who have just petered out at the tail end.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier, Body having a fantastic performance, but Python, kennyS, and MBK, they've been struggling here. And you need more than one body in the server, Brandon, to win Counter-Strike.
Yeah, maybe if they had him 2 or 3 times over, that would help.
What's the answer? 3 players out towards playground fast, looking to take out towards long. That's where Salazar is, and he just holds the line, hits the shot. Eventually, kennyS does trade him out. So it is 4v4. Kragan playing in close towards Divider, looking for Misutaaa, spots out the shadow and dispatches of him.
Yeah, certainly a matter of time, really. Body can't quite connect the shots here. Neither can Python through the smoke. It's not a conversion. And all the meanwhile, Cabby closes the gap. And now everything becomes a little bit more difficult, as it's just kennyS versus 3. Spots out the first player towards Truck, but Kragan has fully blinded him. ECSTATIC with the reverse sweep on towards the Falcons.
What a fantastic series from ECSTATIC. We mentioned earlier they've been playing Counter-Strike all day, but you wouldn't be able to tell. They did not look phased, looking in their element here. Mirage, even that could have gone their way, to be honest, after that late stage comeback they put on, where it ended up being a 30-round game, and they looked a completely different beast here on Overpass. A fantastic performance on both sides of the server.